Good afternoon. This is Grace with All About Lincoln Podcast. And today I have with me Sheldon Hannington, who is currently a town councilor on the Lincoln Town Council. And Sheldon, how are you doing today?
Good.
That's good. So I hear a lot of things going on right now. The town is just passed a budget.
Correct.
And I guess you guys were, when I interviewed people before, the anticipation was that they were going to do a lot of changes with the town. And so since then, what I've been hearing, because I honestly don't go to town council meetings. My bad. A lot of times, and I think a lot of people, they come home from work, they're tired, they have a lot going on. That's a Wednesday night that nobody wants to go and listen
spend
to
2-3 hours.
to long meetings. And I know for a fact when I was on the school council, I appreciated knowing all the information and being able to make decisions. But at the same time, when I was off the town council, the school council, I didn't want to go to meetings anymore. So kind of give me an update. What are some things that the town council is doing right now?
Well, we have a lot of interest with the mill site. I got some emails recently that you get pros and you get cons.
Yeah.
And they're concerned about contaminants with the foam energy, the iron battery that's potentially going to be coming. And then also with biofine. They have concerns about that, which I understand. I see both sides of it. But as far as the town council, we did pass the budget. It was town manager Wade Schaefer's budget that was 5% reduction. And I do apologize to the residents of Lincoln that taxes will be going up slightly this year. We don't know what the mill rate will be. But like I said the other night at the town council, prior to Wednesday's vote, we got 10 months to bring all the stakeholders in and try to come up with a comprehensive plan on how we're going to reduce government. Because the last 15 years, ever since Jeff Gifford got me involved in politics, town government has grown probably by $8 million. And from 34 employees to 66, now I think we're down around 63, 64. That's not sustainable because, a lot of people in Lincoln, they're either working, I don't want to be disrespectful, a low-end job, which we're a service community, which is going to pay minimum wage to $20 an hour. Then you have probably 40-50% my age, 62 plus, and they're on fixed income. So, and I've said for years we have a revenue problem, and shame on the past 5 town managers that's never really corrected the issue.
And the mill is gone.
And the mill is gone.
And that was like the big economic driver of this town. Now it's gone, now we're trying to fix that problem. But until then, what do we do?
Well, that's it. I mean, Grace, I've known you for a while. I try to see both sides and weigh out the odds. We could be 2-3 years out before we get our revenue coming in from this tax mess that we have. People not paying the adequate taxes, people paying too much taxes, people paying not enough, no tax. We have people paying tree growth tax on an acre of land. No, you can't do that. It's got to be 10 plus.
Now I've heard there's something that things needed to be reassessed, but there isn't some. There either is someone that's reassessing, but they haven't been doing it, or that's one of the problems that I've heard was that a lot of the town properties didn't get assessed correctly.
That's correct. I wouldn't even dare to put a figure on it dollar-wise, but it's got to be up in millions of dollars of valuation that's not even being assessed. And the council, a week ago, Wednesday night, they did reappoint Mrs. Ruth Burns as assessor, because on the state statute plus the town charter, you have to have an assessor. That's the only department that the Lincoln Charter formed when we got our charter in 68, 69, was the assessing department. Any other department was established by an up or down vote by the council.
Now, I thought Ruth Burtz wanted to retire from that and become the economic development officer.
Last November, when a letter was written to the town and by her husband, Scott Burtz, and I understand Ruth was overworked. I understand Rick put a lot on her shoulders, right, wrong, or indifferent. I have my opinion on how everything went, but the fact of the matter is, Dennis Boland at the time was the interim town manager, and he took everything away from her but economic development, and that's what she wanted. And then we appointed another lady, and since that hasn't worked out, so now the revenue office stepped in and said, you need a
Certified
assessor. And without one, I think the revenue office would have came into the town of Lincoln and said, hey, what's what?
Yeah.
You gotta do what, you gotta do it. So it was good that they appointed her. Now we have an assessor. Will things be assessed between now and the townwide audit? Audit, not the audit, but the assessment.
Yeah.
We're in the mix we're in the process right now of, we had to pass the budget, and then we can give them a down payment, another payment, and they can start coming around to a revaluation. So if there's nothing evaluated between now and November and added to the tax rolls, I think the assessing company that's going to be doing it will probably be working quite closely with Ruth and say, well, we dropped the ball because Byron Sanderson brought forth 156 properties last December, and then wasn't added to the tax rolls by April. And right, wrong, or indifferent, it should have been. And that, what would that generate? Maybe it would only generate $50,000, $60,000, $100,000, but that's $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 that we didn't have.
Right, and all of that goes through the planning board to get that
That's right.
Developed.
Yeah.
And so how did the ball get dropped from that to that? Was it because Ruth Burtz wasn't on the assessment side, there was nobody there
I
to
think
kind of do it?
I think that was a little bit of it. I think through that whole time frame, if you remember, we had let Mr. Bronson go. We had appointed Dennis Boland as interim. We had appointed, Dennis Boland appointed Amanda Woodard as assessor. Ruth stepped back at that time and was doing economic development. So there was a lot of moving parts. And when there's a lot of things going on, things
just get missed.
get missed, So I'm optimistic to hope to think that we can really, in the next 10, 11 months, and I'm going to be bringing forth some stuff that maybe some of the taxpayers might not like.
Okay. Like more stuff?
No, my main objective, Grace, even when I was in the legislature, is fight for the taxpayer. And I always reflect on, and I'm sure she won't mind me mentioning her name, Victoria Wallace. It's Ruth Burt's neighbor on Taylor Street. And she lost her husband a few years back. 50% of income went away.
Yeah.
And when Bill Wallace, which was a combat Vietnam veteran, he was a member of the Legion here. And first of all, the Legion, we're in the Legion building here, it does not endorse any group or any, so I want to put that out. The Legion, I just use this because it was probably the best place to participate today and have this podcast, Grace. So the Legion don't have any affiliation. Affiliation.
Yeah.
We don't try to talk politics or religion, even though they know who I am and what I stand for. We can't have it. So because if there's a Legion sign behind us, it's almost as if
No, there's pictures.
There's pictures. So it wouldn't be right, because then it would show that National Legion support.
Right,
So-
right.
But anyways, getting back to Victoria Wallace, when her and Bill bought that property, it's an older property, it's probably 50, 60, 70 years old, beautiful lot, 2-acre lot, well, two house lot. And like I say, it's right next door to Rue's. And I think she told me last night at bingo, when they bought that 6 years ago, they was paying like $2,800 in taxes. And now they're paying a little over, she is a little over $8,000.
Yeah,
And then
and that's a lot of people are getting those type of tax bills.
they are, and you know, we heard through the whole budget process, I would gladly pay an extra $100 a year. Well, I'm sorry, it's probably gonna be a lot more than that. And, you know, I understand where the fire, the EMS, and the police is coming from.
Yeah,
Because any of us that served the military, and thank you
Yeah.
for your service, any of us that served, I've gone into burned buildings, I've pulled out people out of wrecked vehicles, I've given IVs, I've done tourniquets,
yeah.
we've done all this stuff. So for them to say that, you know, they put their life on the line, yeah, they do. But we all do when we take that oath,
Yeah,
you know? Like I said the other night, someone working, being a flagger for minimum wage, their life is on the line because look what happened right here last week at Bloom Festival
I know,
to that young family.
yeah.
You know, so every job that we take, we're putting our life on the line. A carpenter, a steel mill worker that's working 60 stories in the air,
Yeah,
he's compensated for it highly, but he's putting his life on the line.
yeah,
You know, so, you know, I'm tired of this emotional driven politics.
I
you
feel
know.
like more than any other session, that there's been a lot of attacking going on.
And that's not good.
And like personal attacks, because I see it, I don't comment on it, but I just see just constant personal attacks.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, it's very, very vicious.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just been the last few months, meetings, that Councilor Clay has really dropped the hammer and had Chief Miller use his assertiveness and try to get the handle of things. You know, because I know anytime I chaired anything, or even in the legislature, that type of stuff it's not tolerated.
Yeah.
And the first time that someone comes out and accuses a council member or of someone else in the audience, that's when they need to be asked to be removed, because it's disrespectful. And, you know, you take a 3-hour meeting, you got, you know, when you have an
A
hour.
lot of work to do.
You do, you know, and I think it's sad to think that someone will use that platform to attack instead of trying to get the point across. And we heard the same old stuff from the same old people, meeting after meeting after meeting, and we got it, and we heard it. But I'm also to the understanding that for every one person that was speaking out against their livelihood, which is understandable, because
Yeah.
we all need a livelihood. I would say probably for everyone that was speaking out against the council, there would probably be 100 they want reform.
Yeah. Well, I
You know?
mean, that's the thing is when there was a kind of a change in direction here, the consensus was we want less taxes.
Yeah.
And then it comes down to, well, how do we achieve that? And as far as the EMS and the firefighters and stuff, I mean, doesn't other towns use our services?
They do, and that's one thing we've been looking at for the last several months. Even when Town Manager Bronson was here, David Moyson and I sat down and talked to him, had a meeting with the Town Manager Bronson at the time, and Chief Brown. And their answer to Dave Moyson and I was, we need to build infrastructure in plans of someone coming. And I told him, I said, that's pulling the cart before the horse. What if they don't come? And we'll say, for instance, if you and Benny want to bring a business to town, you do all your homework first. You see what you're going to bring in for revenues. You see what your expenditures are going to be. And at the end of the day, you're either gonna do that or you're not gonna do it. And to grow government in a way that we did under Mr. Bronson in the department heads at the time, to me, being a businessman, you do not do that. And in speculation that someone's gonna come. Because I know growing up in the Hannington brothers, father was quite adamant about making sure that all his revenues would be there before he purchased
Right. And so
stuff.
he did that with growing the actual government, so all
Yeah.
of the government jobs were, so we expanded that without ensuring that the businesses were there
Yeah.
in place. And I do see a lot of businesses coming to Lincoln. I mean, there's construction going on,
Yeah.
there's Roma Joe's, Forrester's just expanded, there's the Lincoln Power Sports.
Yeah.
So I do see businesses coming in.
Yeah.
Will that be enough revenue to help the town moving forward?
Not really, Grace, because I look at it, we're a hub community. We service, 17, 18 existing towns. I mean, anywhere from, you name it, Mattawankeg, McGuahawk. I mean, we used to come down from Lincoln, from Woodpippock to come to Lincoln.
Yeah.
So I call all this recycle money. Because all you're doing is, don't get me wrong, retail is good, service jobs are good, but it's not new money. New money to me is, if you had Amazon saying, hey, look, we need 50 acres at the mill site to put up a 60,000 square foot building, and it's gonna generate 250 jobs.
You need a real, like a manufacturer or something
That
like
to me is new money.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people don't understand that because they've always lived off the government dole. And not to say that that's a bad thing. They do what they do because they have to do it, you know, and sometimes you get a government job or a town job or whatever. And when you're in that, same way when I was working at the mill, I would come in on a day shift or a night shift, I would have to do 50% of the gentleman or the lady that I relieved, because if I didn't do their job and do all of my job, it reflected bad on me being a new employee. You know, so, and I'm not saying that's happening, but you know, we got to be very careful on how we spend the taxpayers' money. Is it subcontracting things out? That may be an answer on some avenues. You know, but the fact of the matter is, we as a household, I don't care if we have $2,000 or $18,000 a month coming in, you only can live on what you have. You just can't say, Social Security, I want $400 extra a month because I want
to. You're not gonna get it, yeah.
You know, you're not gonna get it. So to me, I don't care if it's in the legislature or not, or even in the town, when you operate anything under that way of doing business, it's not healthy for the people paying taxes. You know, and people say, well, you know, the county budget went up. You know, as far as
The school
budget went up. You know, and the fact of the matter is, our governor has not paid the jail, all 16 jails since she's been governor.
Oh boy.
So
I didn't even know that.
I learned that out, Grace, when I was on the budget committee for Penobscot County, because each commissioner can appoint each commissioner in Penobscot County can appoint two budget members.
Yeah.
So Dave Marshall appointed me, and I never understood, you know, I never understood the way it worked, but you got a governor that never paid none of the jails. So what did that do? That put that cost fix back on you and I.
Yeah.
And then you take with the school reimbursements,
Yeah.
now you take with all the main care. She has not paid main care since she's been governor.
Yep, I knew that one.
And we don't have another liquor contract like Governor Page. He sold the liquor contract, and that's what bailed out the hospitals last time when Governor Baldacci was governor. You know, and I'm not saying it's Republicans against the Democrats, but when you don't pay your obligation, someone else is going to take care of it.
Yeah.
Needs to take care of it. And you know, we all feel the pinch, you know, but the next 10 months between now and next budget cycle, we really have to sit down and look at things.
Yeah.
But then again, if we as a conservative bloc don't win the election on one of the two seats,
Yeah.
it's going to be the same old status quo. You're going to have the town managers, no matter who it is,
Yeah.
they're beholden to the department manager, department heads, and that's when you grow government. I mean, you know,
Right.
well, we heard it the other night. Well, we have the cruisers, and I can talk about this because it was in public forum. We have the extra cruisers in anticipation that we're going to have more patrols when business comes.
Okay.
You know, you don't buy stuff just to buying it and not have to really use it or need it.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
is there any potential for the old mill site to be revamped, or is that still like a wash? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's environmental concerns and just logistical. I mean, that building, the buildings are still there.
Yeah, we have, some buildings have come down. We have asbestos, and that's when you're dealing with federal money and federal you know,
Regulations.
regulations and everything. You know, it's a slow process. I mean, it's been, what, 10 years now?
Mm-hmm.
And, well, probably 8 since we really got the ball rolling. To me, as a private contractor, you would have taken care of it a long time ago.
Yeah.
But with the environmental issues, you know, they have standards they go by and whatnot for safety. So there is work being done over there. We do have one company that is pretty promising. We'll wait and see if that comes because just like you remember back along, we had Lignaterra knock on the door.
Yep.
And we was optimistic, but then I was a little bit pessimistic because, you know, I could almost see the handwriting on the wall. And then, of course, after I resigned off the council because I had a surgery and I couldn't serve, then I heard that they wasn't going to come. And it's going to be hard pressed for any company, and I've been saying this for years. I mean, our taxes are out of sight, our energy costs are out of sight. I mean, our corporate tax alone, so you really need someone big enough, like an Amazon or, you know,
Tesla.
Tesla or whatever, you know.
I'll call up.
Yeah, yeah.
Up here.
You know, hey Elon, we need some help, but
Right.
yeah, I mean, I'm optimistic to hopeful that they will come.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I'm thinking, you know,
If they don't, there has to be a plan B.
there's got to be a plan B, and is it?
And I know that a lot of the surrounding towns, because I was talking of the possibility, I mean, we have these services available, and we could try to lighten the load by having these other municipalities pay for it, but they're all poor too.
Oh, they are.
Mohawk is poor, Mattawamkeag is poor. I mean, these are struggling communities. Sure, they would love to have more firefighters, but, you know, where are they gonna come up with the money?
One thing that we need to do, and I know my late sister Sharon was a pusher for this, and Mr. Bronson at the time just kind of shrugged it off. And I feel the same way. We need a regional hub that everyone, I can remember when everyone had a mutual aid and it was going great.
Mm-hmm.
You worried about the money after the fact. I don't care if it was a wildfire or
Right.
whatever. You worried about the money later to make sure all the towns got reimbursed.
Mm-hmm.
That was part of having mutual aid, because then you're sharing equipment, you're sharing expenses, you're sharing payroll, not sharing, but sharing. You know, and I think we need to get back to that, because every municipality in the area, they want their own identity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is fine and great if you're Brunswick, Bath, Portland, Falmouth,
Yeah.
Bangor, BZ.
Mm-hmm.
Their dynamics, and I've heard this for years. Well, MMA says that, well, you need this because of the population. Well, damn it, 4,800 people in Lincoln is a lot different than, we'll say, 4,800 in another town.
Right.
Because that other town might have more industry, they might be closer to Bangor, they might be closer to a bigger metropolis or whatever.
Yeah, like
Metropolitan, yeah.
Old Town does not compare to Lincoln.
No,
They're two very different structures, population, industry,
Yeah.
everything.
and we've heard that for years. Well, MMA says that you need to pay this for a town manager because of your population. Well, I'm sorry. The dynamics up here in Lincoln is a lot different than the dynamics somewhere else with 4,800, 5,000
Yeah,
people.
because we don't have the money.
You don't have it. You know, to me, I've always been performance-based, and it's just like in the military.
Mhm.
If you want to go from sergeant to tech sergeant or specialist to corporal, what do? You keep your nose clean,
Mhm.
you work above and beyond, you listen to your superiors, and eventually you'll get a promotion. So that is your merit-based increase.
Yep.
And if you're lazy
Mhm.
and you want to be a specialist or a private first class for 18
Ever?
years in a career, yeah, you'll get pay increases, but not as much as if you've done what you're supposed to do and at the end of your career, you're a staff sergeant.
Yeah.
You know, so I've always been about performance-based and I want to be careful here. I'm not anti-union, but I understand in some cases they're in it for a different
Mhm.
perspective. You know, because I work for unions,
Mhm.
you know, and they're great, you know, to a degree, but I look at it like, you know, they're there for the union dues and they don't care about Sheldon Hannington or Grace Tibbetts
Yeah.
or V. Wallace, you know. The unions did not save Eastern Fine Paper down in Brewer.
Mhm.
They did not save Lincoln Pulp and Paper.
Yeah.
They did not save Lincoln Tissue Mill, you know, so for them to say that unions are fine and great, which they are
Right.
to a degree, but we'll say like Bath Iron Works. If they lose 50% of their government contracts tomorrow,
Yeah.
and if they're forced to like shut down,
The union's not gonna save them.
the union's not going to save them.
No.
And, you know, that is what I have against everyone saying, well, you know, and the thing of it is, once you get into that place, they kind of have a negotiation skill where it's about them and not about the people they're serving,
Mhm.
you know? And to me, I always felt these town jobs, it ought to be linked to regular inflation or Social Security,
Yeah.
you know? I mean,
Definitely.
I got $28 increase in my Social Security per month this year.
Yeah.
What's $2,800? $28. You know?
Part of a tank of gas. Half a tank of gas.
Yeah, really, you know, so, no, I like Lincoln. I've been here for 21 years next month.
Mhm.
I don't know where I'm gonna end up, my final chapter. Our daughter Sarah just got accepted for a 2-year teaching degree in Barcelona, Spain.
Ooh,
So we'll be spending Christmas over there.
awesome.
She'll be moving home for the month of September, we found out last night. So she's gonna be teaching English and art, and then she'll have enough time left that she can probably get another 20-hour-a-week job or something over there. So I don't know where we're gonna end up. I moved to Lincoln because my sister Cheryl lived in Chester.
Yeah.
Sharon lived on the Finney Farm Road, and Mom lived right locally.
Yeah, and that's all changed.
That's all changed. Cheryl's in Alabama with my brother-in-law and daughter and son-in-law and 2 kids, and Sharon's gone. Her 2 boys are out of the area.
Yeah.
Mom passed away 5 years ago,
So
so.
the reasons for staying aren't really as concrete as they used to be.
No, and like I told Jean, you know,
There's a big world out there.
yeah, it is. And like I told Jean, you know, I love Lincoln.
Yeah.
I've called it home for 21 years. It has everything that you want. It's got the lakes, it's got the camaraderie that I want. You know, you've got friendly people, you've got
Yeah.
businesses. I mean, when I lived in Winnipeg, probably 2/3 of the time I had to do shopping, Gina or I, either or. We came to Lincoln because of family.
Yeah.
We did go to Holton, but I mean, it was about halfway either way, you know, so I do like Lincoln. But some of the people I've noticed through this budget process, Grace, that I thought were my friends,
Mm,
they weren't your friends to begin with when they're willing to just turn their back on you.
Yeah.
And that's what's frustrating to me, because I try to be a good person and treat people the way the good Lord intends us.
Yeah.
You know, treat people the way you want to be treated. And you know just as well I do, we are a godless society.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's in Mattawampake or Wynn or Winnipeg or Lincoln or Lee or Springfield, Mass, or wherever it is. You know, we have a godless society until we get back to the fundamentals of what we need to teach in school,
Yeah.
how we need to raise our children. You know, I think we're lost out.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, but I can't honestly say where I'll be in 10 years.
So, are you planning on running for re-election, or are you kind of about done?
No, you know, when I got done and I resigned in January after I had my operation, and if you remember, Sharon had just passed away in November, and then Mom, she was taking care of Mom out on the Lee Road, living with her, and then of course I had my operation, and I knew I wouldn't be able to make my meetings.
Yeah.
And so I talked to the town manager, I talked to my sister, Cheryl at the time, and I talked to Kathy Moisen. I said, Kathy, I said, if I resign, will you run for my seat? If you resign with less than 6 months remaining, they don't run a special election.
Okay.
But where I was out
For so long.
for so long, I mean, it'd been January to November.
And you roped poor Kathleen
Yeah.
into it, yes.
And that's she's the first person that I felt that would do
Yeah.
good. And she's been a good council person. Council person. You know, and then after some of the things that's happened, a lot of people reached out to me and said, Sheldon, we need you on the council again.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any intentions. I mean, I was busy with the Legion here. We started the museum, you know. I was comfortable.
Yeah. You
And
didn't need that in your life.
I didn't, you know, and I think it figures out about $1 a meeting.
Yeah.
You know?
I was on the school board, I was on the planning board, and I remember on the school board, there was one person who came like, you guys are just doing this for the money, and I'm like, you get money? Like, I didn't know, we even get, you know, like, so the money is not the factor.
I mean, I get $121.
Yeah, it's not, it's.
Yeah, $121 a quarter after taxes.
Yeah.
I mean, I spend that on Dunkin' Donut.
Yeah, it is for, you do it for the responsibility.
That's right.
For that, you know that what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish is something that's positive for the people of Lincoln.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I should have turned this on. Yeah, I know, you know,
And same thing, I mean, the school, all of them, you are now in the public eye and you are exposed to anything that's going wrong, they're gonna blame it on you.
oh, that's right.
And it's not gonna be like, hey, you made a mistake, they're gonna come at you personally.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I don't understand, when you could just sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like, I don't agree with this, maybe we should reason this out. Instead, it's like, you know, it's like vicious.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be like that.
No, and I can remember when this whole thing started, and this was back when the Parks and Rec director got done,
Mm-hmm.
and they appointed Director Norris, Cody Norris. But anyways, Brian was at the museum,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy pulled in with his wife. Man, he was going up one side of me, down the other, calling me everything but a white man.
Mm-hmm.
Brian said, ho, ho, ho. He said, it's not his responsibility to mow them lawns. It's not his responsibility to make sure that every grave is supposed to be attended to like they should be.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, a couple of weeks later, I don't know if it's the same guy that showed up at the house in a pickup. And Gene, at the back, when we had the basket bingo here on a Saturday, we had a golf tournament for the museum. And I come back to be here, got home, took a shower, come down here to be down here at 11. But 9 o'clock that morning, a lady was gonna meet her to help her load her car, and Gene had started. And pulled in, started in on, couldn't understand why I was doing what I was doing, calling me everything unimaginable, then started in on Gene, saying that you must blah, 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 be the same, for,
Right,
you know?
that's-
So
yeah.
Gene wasn't gonna tell me when I was called bingo that day. So she did afterwards, and I got thinking about it. I was home working on my Jeep, and I got thinking about it. I said, no. So I called dispatch, and they knew. They said, is it because of the,
Whatever the
what's
decision
going on,
was with
you
the
know?
town council, yeah.
So they dispatched 2 young officers up to the house,
Yeah,
and they took a statement from both of us, and see, that stuff shouldn't happen.
no.
And
It's
you know.
hard, I guess it's hard when people get angry, they don't feel like they have any way to, like, they look at their tax bill and they're like, it's gotta be the government's fault. And who is the face
of the government,
of the government?
yeah,
And, you know, obviously Janet Mills is far away.
yeah,
There's nothing, I mean, you agree or disagree with whatever. She's not coming to Lincoln anytime soon.
no,
So who is local that we can give all of our thoughts to?
yeah,
And so I appreciate that you are in town council, that you have, stood your ground on what you believe, and and I feel like you are truly doing what is good for the town of Lincoln in
Thank
your
you.
own possible way.
Yeah.
And so I am sorry you're being attacked, but I mean, I do say that, anything that goes wrong, you're gonna be the face of it.
oh yeah, yeah. And I don't know if I answered your question. You asked me if I was going to run again. We'll see. I have another year after November.
Yeah,
We'll see how the makeup is on the council. We will see how next year's budget goes, and we will see how the people in Lincoln are being treated.
yeah,
And if I feel that I need to continue what I've been doing, then I'll run again. More than happy to. And I mean, I first got elected 12 years ago in the legislature, and then a year later, Jeff says, Councilor Gifford, of course, he was representative, and
Yeah.
he said, we need you on the council. But then again, Grace, back then, it was 5-1. Jeff was against. 5-1.
right,
And then when I got elected, it was 6-1. Then when I got elected, it was 5-2. We as a majority at the time, we didn't take up a petition for recall.
Mhm.
We didn't take up a petition to let things go to the voters. So for now, for the public to do that is driven by 1 or 2 people.
yeah.
And I think in their little group, they have maybe 8 to 1,000 people, which I'm not downplaying that, but we'll say if they do have 1,000 people, there's 3,800 people,
Right, and the thing is,
You know?
is that there's another election coming up.
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
if they feel so passionately about it, they can go to the ballot box November, and they can put up their people and vote.
yeah. I had a lady, that reminded me, I had a lady that she always comes to the meeting with her daughter. Her daughter owns a business, and she was starting in on me. How can you be like this, Sheldon? How can you be like this? You're gonna take the money away from the workers of Lincoln. You're gonna cause
I
people.
heard that, just in the rumor mill, you were gonna do away with Food Fest, you're just gonna
Yeah.
stop it. And this is it's just stuff that just in the air that people just talk
Yeah.
about. And I have no idea if it's true or not. All I know is that somebody thinks it's true, and they
Yeah.
throw all this out there, and then you just hear about it in the backlash of
Yeah.
it.
But to get back to the point, how I dealt with this lady, I thought about it a couple days, and I gave her an answer, and I said, if you don't think that I'm doing a good job, or have done a good job when I was in the legislature for 6 years, I said, I will never have your support,
Yeah?
being in the opposite party,
Mhm.
which is fine and great, I respect that, and I represent you.
Mhm.
But I said, if you don't think that I'm doing a good job, or any other council's doing a good job, or Representative Gifford's not doing a good job, I said, I would implore you to run for state representative
Yeah.
or town council.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard from her for
Do
6
the
weeks.
do the walk-in. I
Yeah.
mean,
You know?
that's why I got involved with politics. was because I was upset about the whole COVID thing.
Yeah,
In 2020, I saw what happened to my children. I saw them shut the world down. And I'm like, and everyone's just going to do that. And so that's what instigated me. Like, I have to be involved.
yeah,
And so, I mean, there has to be that passion behind what you're doing. You know, like, if you're that passionate, don't just show up and complain.
that's right.
Actually, go ahead and, because it's hard. It's hard to run for office. It's hard to be on the town council. It's hard to be on the school board. These things, you have to show up every Wednesday. You have to make decisions. You have to do things that aren't popular.
That's right.
So, and then you have to listen to it.
Yeah.
When people, you know, tell you everything, every which way by sideways, what you did was wrong.
Yeah. You know, you can't please everyone.
Yeah,
And no two people are going to think alike regardless.
yeah,
I mean, if we're both conservative Christians, there's no doubt about it. But if we served on the council together,
yep,
we're not going to agree
yeah,
on everything, just like my sister and I. When Sharon Sibley was on the council, there was times we did not agree,
yeah.
and we didn't take it home.
Mhm.
We would talk about it, you know, but when we meet for Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever, we met as a family.
You
We
were
separated.
like, let's talk about this political thing that we just really hated about
You
each
know.
other.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And then this notion about the four of us meeting at Tim Hortons at the time.
Yeah, that was, yeah, do you guys have secret, or do you have
No.
a secret pact? Okay.
No.
I had to ask, because I've heard that too.
No.
People ask me questions because they think I'm on the inside. I'm like, I know nothing.
Yeah. Well, when a lady on the Enfield Road accused us having a legal meeting at Tim Hortons, it was Councilor Edwards, Councilor Gifford, and myself.
Mm-hmm,
And Crystal Boone was sent back to the window, the drive-through,
mm-hmm.
and she assumed it was Sharon because her same hairstyle. So I called Crystal Boone my sister now.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, they ran with it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and we asked legal counsel, I mean, we went up to a GOP meeting this spring.
Mhm.
Councilor Gifford, Councilor Moyson was there, Councilor Rojo was there, Councilor Allen was there, and there, four of us.
Mm-hmm.
Did we have a meeting? Did we talk business? No.
Right, you can have a social.
You know, it's just like a lot of us could be going to the same church, or going
Yeah.
to a spaghetti dinner for the Knights of Columbus or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna show up at different places. Not to say that you're gonna talk politics, because a lot of times when I leave the council chambers, I don't
It's
talk.
still on your brain, yeah.
You know, I don't call up Councilor Allen and say, geez, Dave, we gotta do this.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's times you've been out to the house helping me work on the Jeep, because there's things that you can't do with, you know, you need
Right.
an extra pair of hands. There's times you've been to the house working on Representative Gifford's campaign
Mhm.
with Gene.
Mhm.
So people took pictures of his car in the driveway. What are they rehearsing for? Or what are
Yeah.
they doing, having a secret meeting? You know, people that just, they run with everything,
Yeah.
Grace, and it's sad.
Well,
You
that's
know?
why I wanted to sit down with you today and just have a conversation.
Yeah.
Because I think everything starts with conversations.
It does, it does.
It's not with rumors, not with just what's in the air, not with attacking people, but just a conversation
Yeah.
that we can sit down, have a talk. Because, like I said, not everybody goes to council meetings. All we hear is what everyone else is generating, and so for me, all I know is I want my taxes down.
Yeah,
And, you know, for me, I also want the firefighters to show up when my house is burning down.
yeah,
And if a robber's breaking in, I would really like it if the cops would show up.
that's right.
So those are like the three like main, and I would like businesses to come to Lincoln. But as far as that, I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Because I would rather you do it.
Yeah, yeah. You know, there's a lot to it. There's a lot of moving parts to it, you know, and I've said for years, you know, it's a balancing act, like a set of scales. You know, the same people over here that you want to provide services to, by growing government to the point where you're providing that service, but you're squeezing them out financially.
Yeah.
So where is that balance on that scale?
So it's finding that balance.
You know, and I think we, as a council this year, right, wrong, or indifferent, the way it went about probably wasn't the best way,
Mhm.
but it opened up a lot of eyes,
Yeah.
and it's got a lot of people thinking, and, you know, I mean, we'd have 60, 70 people in the meetings,
Yeah.
which,
And actually, I really like the idea that people are participating in their local government. When I was on the school board, nobody showed up, ever.
yeah,
So I would be like, it would be chirping crickets out there in
Yeah.
the public eye versus 67, I'm sorry, I like that 60, 70 people care enough about their town to show up to the town meetings.
yeah,
That is good in that, and I'm glad that they woke up
Yeah.
in that fact.
and a lot of things have been said, why isn't more people showing up?
Mm-hmm,
Like you alluded to earlier, they're busy, they're working,
mm-hmm,
2, 3 jobs,
mm-hmm.
or it's the 65, 70, 75, 80-year-old, they don't want to go sit for
No,
3 hours,
it's a lot.
and that's why they elect us.
Yeah,
If they wouldn't come out, if they wouldn't have come out in droves, Eric Rojo, Lee Rand, David Moyson David Allen probably wouldn't have got elected. And it's been said, a couple weeks ago, we had a meeting, an open forum, and a lady put out stats on the amount of people vote. Well, on an off season, you might get 30% to the polls.
mm-hmm,
On a presidential season, you might get 60% to the polls.
yeah,
So for this person to put forth them statistics, it wasn't totally right, because every voter does not go to the polls.
right,
And to say that we represent a block of people, and she's saying that we don't because that block of people didn't get out and vote, 100% of the people didn't get out and vote, 100% of the people never get out to vote.
yeah,
Well, in some counties and states it have in the past, but
right,
but yeah, I mean, but I'm glad that people are talking and people are being sensitive to the cause and but you look, I don't care what town. I graduated in 81.
mm-hmm,
How many people stayed in the Danforth, Whittaker-Berkeley area?
right,
They moved south. Everyone, David Cole told me this a long time ago when we was talking about the West Broadway widening. He said, every town, the graduates, they move south.
yeah,
Portland goes to New Hampshire,
mm-hmm.
New Hampshire goes to Boston, Boston goes to probably Washington,
Or New York.
or New
Yeah.
York. I mean, you look at the kids that graduated with my daughter Sarah, a few stayed,
My son is not planning on staying in Maine.
That's just the nature of it.
Yeah,
I would have loved to stay in Whittaker. I
Yeah.
loved it up there. That's where I was born and bred, born and brought up. But the economy's different,
yeah,
so, people don't stay where they was born. A
right.
percentage does,
Mhm.
but most don't, because they want a better lifestyle, an easier lifestyle financially for the family. And not to say they can't have it in Lincoln, but
Well, and also, for young people, honestly, there's nothing to do in Lincoln.
yeah,
So they get out and they're like, they want adventure in their life. They
Yeah.
want to go. And I don't blame any of them,
Yeah.
honestly.
they want kayaking, they want hiking, they want a movie theater, they want a bowling alley.
Yeah.
They want an arcade, and we had that in Lincoln a long time ago.
Yeah, I heard.
I remember coming to Lincoln as a kid, back when we had 3 police officers and they was patrolling, 2 of them was patrolling on bicycles in the summer.
Yeah,
And we had a movie theater next to Grant Clay's up there,
Yeah.
that big parking lot. Not Grant Clay, but Herbie Clay. And, we had a bowling alley.
mm-hmm.
Lincoln was a happening place back then, but
Things change.
things change,
All
but,
right, well, I'm gonna wrap this up.
all right, thank you so much,
Thank you
Grace.
so much for giving me the time today.
Oh, you're welcome, anytime.
I really just wanted to, like I said, sit down, have a conversation with you, and for other people to hear kind of where things stand.
Yeah.
So,
Well, thank you for the opportunity, I enjoyed it.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you, Grace.
And,